Now at 6, controversial comments from a Joplin City councilman spark a recall push. Plus, a nature group in Joplin invites the public to take part in a rummage sale for a good cause. And area vendors gather in Joplin for the annual Senior Expo.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A group wants to recall a Joplin City councilman following a series of controversial comments about transgender people. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. The councilman says he's entitled to his opinion. KOAM Samantha Walker is live outside Joplin City Hall with details.
Dow, last April, Ryan Jackson ran uncontested for the 4-year term for the Zone 3 Joplin City Council person. But now there's a community effort to recall Jackson from that position after he made a series of comments on a Facebook post. In a series of social media comments, Joplin City Councilman Ryan Jackson refers to gender dysphoria as a mental illness and says people, quote, push the ideology on mentally unhealthy people and impressionable children. The incident sparked backlash, with community members organizing an effort to remove Jackson from his position, including a recall petition. The petition says the councilman, quote, failed to uphold his oath of office and has shown an inability to conduct oneself in a manner that preserves public confidence and respect. The founder and co-chair of Jomo Pride is behind the effort to recall Jackson. In a statement, Ron Birch says the petition is, quote, not due to a singular incident, but a culmination of issues since Councilmember Jackson took office. They add that hate speech, slurs, and making fun of those with disabilities and mental illnesses should not be tolerated from a city council member. According to the Joplin City Charter, a recall election can be held if a sufficient petition containing signatures from at least 20% of those registered to vote in the last municipal election is submitted to the city clerk. I spoke to Councilman Jackson, who says the controversial comments were made from his personal account, not from one associated with his role with council. He says, quote, we are all entitled to our opinion and freedom of speech, and, quote, science shows there are 2 genders and that's it. I don't believe men should be in women's spaces. Jackson says community members have approached him about controversial comments from other council members, but he told them others are entitled to their opinion. Dow, organizers working on this recall effort say for those interested, there'll be a Blackthorn Pizza and Pub tomorrow from 4 to 6 p.m. with petitions for people to sign. Reporting live in Joplin, I'm Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Of course, we'll continue to follow this story wherever it leads. Samantha, thank you so much. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy now for a first look at the weather.
And it turned out to be a beautiful Thursday for us today. 70s for highs, lower 70s. A little breezy, not quite as bad as what we did have yesterday. Great evening if you want to get out. 70 in Joplin. Pittsburgh is sitting at 70 degrees. We have Carthage 70, 74, Grand Lake, Parsons at 74. So overall looking pretty good. 70s, 60s, 50s. Chilly tonight. We do back down into lower 40s for overnight lows, but we're going to stay above that frost level. Showers, few thunderstorms, eastern Missouri heading over into the Ohio River Valley. The winds will calm down a bit tomorrow, but we'll still have gusts kind of 15 to 20. Now, by Saturday, they flop out of the south. That does 2 things. One, the winds pick up a little bit, but in return, our temperatures will start to warm up a little bit more as we head into the weekend. But again, kind of chilly to start the day tomorrow, most of us into lower 40s. We're going to look at that weekend forecast here in a bit.
All right, we'll catch you in a few. The Wildcat Glades Nature Group is hosting its semi-annual rummage sale, and they're inviting the community, you, to take part. The event raises money to support conservation and education efforts at Wildcat Glades. Items like books, household decor, toys, tools, puzzles, craft supplies, small furniture, they're all welcome. But the group is asking people to hold off on clothes, old TVs, and large appliances. Organizers say it's a great way to support local nature projects, and all ages are welcome.
We have people that show up to our rummage sales that's when we see them. We see them twice a year, and they come in. They leave a donation on top of whatever they purchased, and so it's really fun to catch up with friends and just to see that. It's just a really neat experience.
That rummage sale begins tomorrow at the IBEW Hall on Hearns Boulevard. It goes from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and it'll continue on Saturday. The Joplin Senior Center Today, that event showcased vendors from all around the area whose products are specific to a senior lifestyle. Not only did the event serve as a way to expose specific brands to seniors, it also provided a valuable networking opportunity and an extra benefit for the community. All the funds generated from registration fees for the expo went to benefit the Homebound Meals program for the Area Agency on Aging.
The expo actually started as a fundraiser. We are trying to keep people off of wait lists for the home delivered meals program, and we have to get really creative on how we do that nowadays. But what better way to get these resources in front of older adults in the area than double it with a fundraiser, get these companies in front of seniors who are going to need these services eventually.
The Regional Area Agency on Aging serves the senior population of Barton, Jasper, Newton, and McDonald counties. In celebration of the Week of the Young Child, the Pittsburgh Police Department invited the public out to grab a bag full of art supplies. Each bag included a canvas, some stickers, markers, and crayons for young aspiring artists. The event was first come, first serve. It was sponsored by Crawford County Mental Health Center, the Kansas Children's Service League, and the Pittsburgh Police Department. Utility companies spread the word about National Safe Digging Month. That story is coming up, and
the weather's looking nice, which means a lot more people could be outside. Local law enforcement wants to remind individuals safety first. I'm Lonnie Walton in Joplin. I'll have that story coming up.
Utility companies everywhere have a simple message for their customers today: dig safely. Right here in our area, Spire Gas wants to encourage residents to call 811 before starting any project that involves putting a shovel in the ground. They say calling 811 a few business days before digging can prevent most accidental damage to a utility line. Those can result in injury, even death, or harm to the environment. Spire Gas says accidents can always happen, and if a utility line is damaged, they say then you should call 911 first before calling Spire and 811 to report the damage. April is National Safe Digging Month. The milder temperatures mean more people spending more time outside, and the rising temperatures could also mean rising tempers. As more people head out to enjoy outdoor activities, you and your property could be vulnerable. KOAM's Lonnie Walton spoke with law enforcement about tips to keep you safe.
To local park goers who say spending quality time in the sun with their families is nice, but so is their safety.
I am the one to always check my surroundings.
Madison is spending time at the park. However, one thing she keeps at the top of her mind: her personal safety.
I would take my wallet with me or my purse and keep it with me at all times, make sure I have my eyes on it.
Her sister Mercedes does that too.
To be honest, I just either bring my wallet with me or I put it in my glove box and lock her up.
According to Lieutenant Kyle Hand from Montgomery County Sheriff's Office, these women have the right idea.
If you do leave your valuables in a car, make sure that they're concealed somewhere underneath the seats.
We all have heard the saying, if you see something, say something, but law enforcement says there's a few things they'd like to know to make their job easier.
If you can provide a description of a person that's injured or the person that is committing a crime, a detailed description of them, if they're driving a vehicle, what that vehicle looks like, a tag number is always awesome.
Both Madison and Mercedes say they just want to keep things simple.
Occasionally we'll take a little walk if we're feeling up for it, but usually just the playground is enough for us.
If I have anything, I will put it in my glove box or put it in my console, just keep everything locked up.
And with that said, most individuals we spoke to say they feel pretty safe in the 4 states. Reporting in Joplin, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Lieutenant Hand says if you are concerned about your safety, he recommends taking protective gear like pepper spray with you. A little bit later, it's tournament time for some area high school baseball teams. John Dales has details coming up in sports.
Plus, our temperatures stay nice, kind of up and down. And also, the winds stick around. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, of course, it turned out to be a fantastic Thursday for us today. Sunny, a little breezy out there. Temperature's great. Most of us into lower 70s, even mid 70s for afternoon highs. Looks great outside right now. Here's our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam. Still a breeze on top of City Hall, which you can see in downtown Joplin, but overall looking pretty good. Now on Thursdays, our new drought tracker always comes out. So I've been kind of looking forward to this. I wanted to see, with all that rain that we had last weekend to the weekend, if it would change, and it significantly changed. You can really see not much of a drought at all across the 4-state area. Still a little dry in southwestern Missouri, but overall looking pretty good. All right, through the evening hours, 60s, 50s, lower 40s, chilly once again for us tonight. Temperatures, though, right now, upper 60s to low to mid 70s once you get out into our western counties. Here's 7th. Here's range line. Sitting at 70, northerly winds 10 to 15. Still some gusts right around 30 or 35. Those gusts will come down a little bit tomorrow, kind of in that 15 to 20 mile per hour range. Picking up a little bit Saturday. Also notice those winds switching out of the south, and that in return will help our temperatures warm up just a bit. All right, we do got some rain. We do have some rain across central and eastern parts of Missouri, a little bit of severe weather through Kentucky and also Tennessee. This is all going to stay east of us. So if we focus on what's going on back toward the west, another storm system, this is going to shoot across the northern plains, really won't affect us. So over the next several days, we have pretty good conditions moving in. All right, by morning, lower 40s above that frost level. Northerly winds through the day, a cooler day, but still going to be a great day. Plus, it's Friday. Near 60 by noon. I think most of us right around 65 for an afternoon high. Smidge below our average high. Chilly again, a couple upper 30s. Saturday morning, no frost. Then we get our southerly winds, sunny skies. Temperatures lower 70s as we go into Saturday. So we're getting better as we go through, especially into the weekend. All right, breakdown on your Friday, 45 start, 61 by noon, high temp 65. Look at the weekend, 73 Saturday, 82 on Sunday. Now, it gets pretty windy on Sunday, but still, the weekend's going to be great. If you remember this last weekend, our highs were like at 43, and it was raining. So this is a nice thank you from Mother Nature for us to have to go through that last weekend. All right, so let's go into Sunday. Temperatures near 80. We do have a cold front Sunday night, so we may get a random shower. This will cool us back down. 60s for highs on Monday, 60s for highs again on Tuesday, and then we'll start to warm back up by the middle of next week and introduce some chances for showers and thunderstorms back in the forecast as we get into next Wednesday and also on Thursday. All right, 65 on your Friday, 73 on Saturday, 82 though on Sunday, back down into the 60s, Monday and Tuesday, 72 on Wednesday with those rain chances, 80s again next weekend. So now that we are in the middle of April, we're getting into that really nice stretch where almost every day we're seeing pretty good temperatures.
Yeah, we're enjoying it while we're here because we know eventually those
It'll be hot.
April showers will be back too.
Yep.
Thanks, Doug. Still ahead, several of our local high school baseball teams play in tournaments across the 4 states. John Dales has the highlights from day one in Fort Scott and Commerce. That's up next in sports.
$7.98 each. With financing options for every budget, buy it today and enjoy it tonight at the new Sofa City. Now open in Joplin.
With about a month left in the regular season, a bunch of our local high school baseball teams participate in tournaments over the next few days. And this afternoon, the Adam LaRoche Tournament in Fort Scott and the Mickey Mantle Classic in Commerce, both of them get started. Opening game of the 2025 Adam LaRoche Tournament, Fort Scott takes on Ottawa. We pick it up in the bottom of the 5th. Tigers trail 10-8. Cannon Brown puts a good swing on this pitch. That goes all the way to the wall. A run scores easily, and he hustles to third. Slides in safely with a triple. But Fort Scott still playing from behind. Bottom of the 6th now, and Caden Cannon lines one into the gap in right center. Brody Gomez scores the tying run. Cannon goes on to second, but we get stranded there. Now bottom of the 7th, we're tied at 10. Ty Marbury smokes this pitch to deep right field. That's going to bounce off the base of the wall, and he's got a leadoff triple. The winning run now 90 feet away from home plate. 2 batters later, Brown back up to bat, and he laces a line drive up the middle. That's a game winner. Fort Scott beats Ottawa in walk-off fashion in the quarterfinals of the LaRoche Tournament. Final score 11-10. Now to game 2. Carl Junction Baseball faces Blue Valley North. CJ trailing 2-0 in the bottom of the first. Wyatt McAfee hits a line drive into right. That brings the Bulldogs their first run of the night across the plate. Top of the second. Now, slow chopper hit towards third base. In comes Brody Pant charging, and he makes a great throw on the money in time to get the out. Bottom of the frame, Bulldogs bats continue to make noise. Here's Pant, who just made that play in the field. He lines it to left. Craig Hayes scores. Carl Junction now leads 4-2. Later in that same inning, Deacon Endicott, the starting pitcher, helping out his own cause, sends a pitch into right, takes a funny hop. The Bulldogs, they're now in front 5-2. Carl Junction takes down Blue Valley North in the quarterfinals of the LaRoche Tournament, final score 10-9. Now that sets up a battle between CJ and Fort Scott in the semifinals of the winners bracket. This was initially scheduled for a 6 o'clock start tonight, but it's not going to get underway until about 8. Whoever wins will play in the first place game on Saturday. Meanwhile, in Oklahoma, it's day one of the Mickey Mantle Classic. Commerce faces Welch in pool play. The Wildcats start hot. They're already up 2, and Devin Massey comes racing home. That's 3-1 Welch at this point. Trying to add more. Mason Clinton bloops this into center. It falls for a single, but runner gets caught between third and home. Eventually, Landon Hart applies the tag here to get the out. Commerce, with the bases loaded in the second, down 1. Dylan Cook grounds one to third. A run will score, but Cole Lynch, great diving play to get the out there. We're tied at 3 until Evan Hart slaps one into left. 2 runs will score. Commerce takes its first lead of the game. It's 5-3 Tigers. But Grayson Shelton, the pitcher for the Wildcats, he gets a strikeout here, gets the Wildcats out of the inning, and Welch comes back to win this one, 8-7. Closing things out with a look at Major League Baseball, the Royals win their series finale against the Twins this afternoon, 3-2. Tomorrow they face the Guardians for the first time this season. That game will be in Cleveland. And back to the high school baseball, looking forward to that matchup tonight between Fort Scott and Carl Junction. A couple of our local teams, a couple of teams that look good early today.
And a good night to be out at the ballpark.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Locations in Iraq during his deployment. We are proud to salute David Goff, a 4-state hero.
Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 tonight. After decades of mine waste cleanup in Ottawa County, Oklahoma, the Tar Creek Superfund site hosts an open house to answer some questions. Plus, the Joplin Chamber's 108th annual banquet celebrates a year of achievements. And we're going to have some tips to help you spring into your spring workout routine. Bless you, Doug.
Thanks.
Those stories, a lot more. It's coming up tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Sometimes with spring, you're dealing with some spring allergies, like some pollen in the air.
Could be mold.
Could be that, I suppose.
I mean, yeah, it definitely, and the pollen count has been going up over the past couple weeks. Ragweed as well. That's going to continue to do so as we get deeper into April and also into May. Temperatures look pretty good. Our weather looks great. 65 Friday, 73 Saturday, 82 on Sunday.
Don't you hate it when you're trying to stifle a sneeze and you're just about to go on air?
I worked on it for about a minute.
You almost made it. You almost made it. Final sports note.
Busy day for high school baseball. We're out at some high school softball games as well. Frontenac, the defending state champion, takes on Colgan. We're going to have the highlights from that one later this evening.
Look forward to that. Thanks for joining us. We're going to see you right back here for KOAM News at 10. Let's make it a great evening.